Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us. We like to get into those stories that are a little bit deeper than the headlines.
Yeah.
And today we have a really interesting one. I think Kanye West and Sean Diddy Combs. Seems like Kanye's really going all in on trying to get Diddy out of jail.
He is.
So what do we know about this whole thing?
Well, it's really interesting because, like you said, Kanye West is really using his platform to advocate for Diddy's release, and I think it's really fascinating because it brings up a lot of different issues.
Yeah.
We have to remember that Diddy is facing some really serious charges right now.
Yeah, we'll get into those.
Yeah. Sex trafficking, racketeering.
Yeah. And I think it's hard to ignore the human element of this as well.
Absolutely.
Because Kanye's been, sharing these videos of himself talking to Diddy's son on Instagram.
Right.
Christian. And it kind of, it really drives home the impact this is having on families.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that Kanye is really trying to highlight is that, this isn't just about Diddy, this is about his family, this is about, his kids, his loved ones.
It's interesting, too, because Kanye hasn't been afraid to kind of call out other celebrities for being silent on this.
Right.
And he's even, made comparisons to, the way people didn't support Chris Brown during his troubles.
It is interesting, isn't it, that he's bringing up that parallel?
Yeah.
I think he's trying to, point to a larger issue of, maybe black artists not supporting each other enough or, feeling like they have to kind of deal with these things on their own.
Yeah, so let's get into the specifics here of the Diddy case.
Yeah.
Because I think some people might not be totally up to speed on that.
That's right.
He's currently being held without bail in Brooklyn. And they're saying he's going to have a trial in May.
That's right.
The charges are really serious, though. Sex trafficking, racketeering.
Huge.
And,
Yeah.
I think it's important to kind of define what those things are.
Sure.
Because they're pretty heavy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, sex trafficking is essentially exploiting someone for commercial sex acts. So basically forcing them into prostitution.
Right.
And then racketeering is when you're engaging in illegal business activities as part of an organized crime group.
Yeah. So serious stuff.
Very, very serious stuff.
And they've even added more to it recently, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. So there's a new indictment that alleges that Diddy coerced 2 more women into commercial sex acts.
So that's basically using his power to...
Exactly. Using his position, his influence, his money, his power to force these women to do things that they wouldn't.
Yeah, now, Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, he's not just sitting back.
No.
He's fighting this pretty hard.
Yeah, he's very vocal about his belief that this is a flawed case.
Yeah.
He's calling it a ridiculous theory about Diddy's ex-girlfriends.
So you've got these 2 completely different narratives.
Exact.
Right. The prosecution's saying, we've got these victims and this is what happened. And then you've got the defense saying, no, these are ex-girlfriends.
Yeah,
or
have an axe to grind and are trying to get back at him.
Yeah, and it's how do you even begin to sort that out?
That's the thing. It's so difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because it's really going to come down to who the jury believes.
Right. And that's where it's so interesting that Kanye is inserting himself into this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
because it's a very sensitive legal situation.
Yeah.
And he's using his massive platform to advocate for his friend.
And it's unclear, I think, to a lot of people what his motivations are. Is it purely out of friendship? Is it, trying to position himself as this champion?
Yeah.
Of the underdog? Is there something else at play here?
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Do you think it could help or hurt Diddy's case?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, on the one hand, he's bringing a ton of attention to this.
Right.
Which could
sway public opinion.
Right, exactly. It could make people more aware of the case. It could make them more sympathetic to Diddy's side of the story.
But it could also backfire.
It could absolutely. It could alienate potential jurors. Right. It could be seen as interfering with the legal process.
Yeah, and we're in this time right now where social media can really make or break people, And you've got all these celebrities using their platforms to...
weighing in on social issues, political issues, legal issues.
And it's like, where's the line?
Right.
How much influence should a celebrity have?
Yeah. That's
when it comes to something like this.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that I don't think has an easy answer.
So we've got these really conflicting stories. You've got these serious allegations. And then you've got this very vocal advocate.
Yeah.
In Kanye.
It's a messy situation.
Yeah. High stakes.
For sure.
Very high stakes.
And it could have a lasting impact on Diddy's life. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So it makes you think, right? Like, how far should we go to defend our friends?
Right. What are those limits?
What are the limits of celebrity?
Yeah.
Influence. And how does this reflect on the whole, music industry, right? Like all of those power dynamics within that world.
It's really interesting stuff.
It really is. It's a fascinating case.
Yeah. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this.
Yeah.
And we encourage everyone to kind of, read into it themselves, form their own conclusions.
Absolutely.
But thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.